One of the biggest crises we face in this country is the crisis of men. According to fatherhood.org, this crisis contributes to nearly all social ills facing America today. If we view men through the lens of the media, we'd see most men as either dumb, deadbeat dads or hyper-aggressive bullies. The truth is, a large percentage of men are suffering the effects of many societal pressures, such as the pressure to provide financially, the pressure to be disciplined, the pressure to be strong, and the pressure of debt. Others lack motivation and just don't see enough benefits to warrant being disciplined or sacrificing. Either way, many men today are finding a way to just check out, some through drugs, alcohol, or sexual addictions, and others by leaving their job or even their family. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 19.7 million children in America live without a father. But I thought men were supposed to be strong, the ones who we could look to in times of danger, the ones who could withstand the pressure, and who could hold all these things together until the storms subside. No doubt, we've seen men be these kinds of heroes many times. But why does there seem to be such a disproportionate number of men who feel like they can no longer meet these standards? Does anyone have an explanation? Actually, someone does. His name is Jesus. Jesus taught us in John 10:10 that there is a thief named Satan who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And in Matthew 12:29, he told us that to destroy a whole family, he has to first bind up the strong man. He said, "How can anyone go into a strong man's house and steal his property? He must first tie up the strong man. Then he can go through his house and steal his property." Unfortunately, Satan has been doing this for centuries, but God has a plan. On March 15th of this year, while reading Exodus 34, the Lord spoke to me about men. I captured his instructions in my journal and began sharing it with various leaders. Then, while reading Deuteronomy 16, he spoke again. Here's what he said: 3 times a year, all your men must appear before the Lord your God at the place he will choose, at the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Tabernacles. No man should appear before the Lord empty-handed. Deuteronomy 16:16. Though God had already told me that he was calling all of the men of the rock to gather before him 3 times a year, this verse clarified why. The Feast of Unleavened Bread is the feast that follows Passover. The blood of a lamb is spilled for our sin, and all sin must be removed. So the first gathering is to be cleansed. The Feast of Weeks is Pentecost, the holiday when the Holy Spirit was poured out on the early church. The second gathering is to be filled. The Feast of Tabernacles is also called the Feast of Ingathering. The third gathering is to be commissioned. On Sunday night, May 19th at 6 p.m. in the Worship Center, I'm calling every man from 12 years old and up to come to present himself before the Lord. It's a time to be cleansed and to consecrate ourselves before him. He will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. So I want to ask you, are you a man? If so, God is calling you.